You are looking live at episode 7 of the NextGen Playbook podcast.
Evan.
I'm here with my charismatic co-host, Reed, and I'm, of course, your host here at the Mike Volkanovich Den of Joy, 2018 NL All-Star. Once again, this is probably the new look for the podcasts. Eventually, we probably will have like a green screen with just Mike Volkanovich's face.
Mike Volkanovich. If you're seeing this,
background.
Mike Volkanovich, we love
We
you.
love you. But we're gonna start it off on a different note. Across the pond in Europe, the UEFA Champions League group stage has been drawn, and these have been some interesting groups. Definitely some shocks. A major group of dev. I don't think anyone expected that.
Yeah,
but we're gonna go through A to I don't know what the last letter of the group stage is, and I'm not gonna look it up. And we're going to give you our top 2 reactions, maybe go a little bit more in depth, of course, into Group F, the group of death. So let's start it off. Group A, one that Reed has a little bit of bias towards. It's Bayern Munich, Manchester United, Copenhagen, and Galatasaray. What are your predictions for the 2 teams getting out?
I've got Bayern Munich topping the group and Manchester United barely beating out Galatasaray. As of right now, Manchester United is playing some awful football, but this was like this at the beginning of the season. You saw where we ended up. I know we're a lot more injured, but by the time group stage comes around, I think we'll be better, and I think we'll edge out Galatasaray for that second spot, and I think Copenhagen will come in last.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree though. I think I also have Bayern topping the group. I mean, that's just they're a UCL staple.
That's a given.
But Galatasaray has been playing really well. I liked a lot of the moves they made this offseason, getting guys like Hakim Ziyech. They already had Mario Icardi, who's a really consistent goal scorer. So I think the moves they made moves they made this summer will definitely be able to put them over the top over Manchester United. I feel like Manchester United kind of live in the Europa League nowadays. And then, of course, I have Copenhagen bottoming out. Now in Group B, we've got Sevilla, Arsenal, PSV, and Lens. I'll start us off with this one. I think this one's a little bit more obvious. I think RC Lens is definitely a team to watch out for. I just didn't feel like their summer transfer window really put them into a spot where they could compete. So I have Arsenal topping the group, PSV at second, and the definition of Europa League.
Literally the example of Europa League is Sevilla.
It's Sevilla.
So I agree. I like Arsenal a lot this year. PSV obviously just winning over in the Netherlands. I think that it'll be Arsenal, PSV. Sevilla's going to come in third, and then Lens is going to come bottom out.
Yeah. Now on to maybe kind of an interesting group here. We've got Napoli, Real Madrid, Braga, and Union Berlin.
Yeah.
As an Union Berlin fan, because I just love their story, I don't see them coming out of this group. I've got Real Madrid, Napoli, Union Berlin in third, and Braga in fourth.
I definitely agree. Even though the Union Berlin story is really, really cool, Real Madrid is Real Madrid, and Napoli is really, really good. So, yeah, I totally agree with you.
Yeah, I don't think they lost the pieces that we were expecting this summer to put them in a spot where they could compete. Now into Group D, probably the second most competitive group we've seen so far, and you can make a case that they're the second most competitive. It's Benfica, Inter Milan, the runner-ups last year in the UCL, RB Salzburg, and Real Sociedad. So some interesting teams near the bottom with RB Salzburg and Real Sociedad. I think I'd still have to go Benfica topping the group, Inter coming in at second, Sociedad in third, and then RB Salzburg down in fourth.
I'm going to switch it. I'm going to say Inter comes in first and Benfica comes in second, but I agree that they're both going to get out of it. And then I think RB Salzburg will come in third, and Real Sociedad will bottom it out.
I just didn't like a whole lot of the moves Inter made. Losing a guy like Onana, losing Romelu Lukaku, even though he had a really bad UCL final performance.
Where did Onana go to? He's kind of stinking.
Oh, 3-1 the score against Brighton, folks.
We'll talk about Brighton later.
Yeah. Once again, I felt like they lost unfortunately a lot of pieces this summer. So I think Benfica, who had a pretty good run last year as well, probably a little bit better. Now to Group E, which I think is its case for second most decisive group, is Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid, Lazio, and Celtic. Do you want to start us off with your prediction?
Yeah, sorry. I think it'll be Feyenoord and Atletico Madrid, although I wouldn't be surprised if Lazio pushes for second in that group, like with Atleti, because Lazio is a really good team. Celtic, obviously, the Scottish Premier League Warriors.
Just, they were in Aaron Moyes, I think, Aaron Moyes retired, so now it's just a bunch of Japanese, and they lost Jota, unfortunately, as well.
Yeah, so Celtic comes in fourth, I'm gonna say Lazio comes in third, Atleti comes in second, and Feyenoord comes in first.
I'm gonna say Atleti tops this group. I felt like they had a really good finish off last season. I think attacking wise with Anton Griezmann and Memphis Depay, I think they're really dangerous. I'm gonna have to go Feyenoord in second. Oh, surprising showing. I don't think anyone expected them to top the Eredivisie, but they were able to get it done. And then I'd also agree Lazio and then Celtic bottoming it out. And now on to the group of death, the scariest thing I've ever seen, and the thing that probably put me in tears like a week or two ago when this got revealed. Um, PSG, Borussia Dortmund, AC Milan, and my Newcastle United. Our first ever UCL, and they give us this group.
It was rigged.
It was rigged. It was stinking rigged. So, Reed, this is a really wild group. I mean, I don't think anyone expected three of the biggest teams in Europe, and then of course Newcastle. But the Saudi money has made us into a pretty good contender at this point. What is your prediction coming leaving this group?
I don't know. PSG, they're good, but they're not. I mean, they lost Messi, they lost Neymar. It's just not a great culture over there. I know they still have Mbappe. Um, I'm gonna say AC Milan, PSG, Newcastle, and Borussia Dortmund. As a Borussia Dortmund supporter, I wouldn't call myself a fan yet, but I'm a supporter. They just I feel like they lost too many pieces. The departure of Jude Bellingham definitely hurt. Almost winning the Bundesliga last year, a heartbreaking fashion how they lost. I'm just a little sketched out by them, and I think Newcastle's solid. I know they haven't been playing as well to start the season as of late. You can definitely vouch for that. But I believe it'll be AC Milan, PSG, Newcastle, and then Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah, I'm gonna flip it up a little bit. I agree. PSG and AC Milan will be the two teams. Or actually, I'm just gonna agree. I think I will say I think AC Milan is gonna top the group. I think PSG will come in second. Of course, losing Neymar and Messi, never good. But I feel like they made the moves to replace those guys, and I feel like now the attack is less congested and there's less egos to go around. Although Ousmane Dembele definitely has an ego, but definitely not to the caliber of Neymar or Messi. And then I'd have Borussia Dortmund dropping to the bottom.
Yep.
And now on to our final two groups. Group G, Manchester City, RB Leipzig, Red Star.
Yeah.
That's how they're on. That's what their name is on FIFA. And then Young Boys from Switzerland.
Switzerland, yeah. Everybody loves young boys. City Leipzig. That's all you have to know.
And then
I could care less about the last two.
Who cares? Who cares? I think Young Boys will probably make it to
Europa.
Oh yeah, I'd agree. Man City's probably gonna get max points. I could definitely see him doing it.
For sure.
Unless they decide to rest.
I mean, was it last year when they played? Wait, was it Salzburg or Leipzig?
It was Leipzig.
Okay,
yeah.
when they were like 8-1 on aggregates or something, or something crazy.
Yeah.
7-0-1.
And Leipzig has lost a lot of talent, unfortunately, this summer with probably their three best players from last season and Dominic Szoboszlai, Christian Nkunku, and Josko Gvardiol all leaving. One, of course, going to City and Gvardiol. And now on to our final group. It's been a long journey, and now we're on to another mediocre group. It's Barcelona. It's Porto. It's Shakhtar Donetsk playing in the second division Bundesliga stadium. And then it's Antwerp.
They're playing
the story of last season, the Belgian team that won the Belgian league.
After
the death.
Yeah.
So a lot of honestly really interesting stories going into this group, but not a very interesting group.
Barcelona, Porto next.
Yeah.
I don't really know a lot about the last two teams, to be honest. I hope Shakhtar does.
Shakhtar Donetsk.
I hope they do well. The Ukrainian team obviously playing their games in Germany. I hope they come in third. I don't know though. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I honestly, I'm gonna agree with him, Barcelona and Porto, but Barcelona's been getting off to a really slow start. This season, a good win recently against Villarreal, but other than that, it's been not great attacking wise. I mean, a front three when you go from Luis Suarez, Messi, and Neymar down to an aging Lewandowski, Ferran Torres, and Rafinha, it's definitely a big difference. Although Ferran Torres has been putting in some great performances. And then once again, Shakhtar and I think Antwerp are actually going to be a pretty good battle for that third spot.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. Staying on the European side, staying across the pond.
We're gonna tell you our surprising and teams that we could probably see shocking a lot of people in this upcoming season. I'm gonna start us off, and I'm gonna say Bayern Leverkusen. They I feel like that team got off to a really rocky start this past season. They really were able to pick it up of late with the appointment of Xabi Alonso as coach. I think I really like the pickup of London Grimaldo. I love Florian Wirtz. I think they were able to replace Musa Diaby pretty well as well with Nathan Tella. And then, of course, I love that defense. Defensively, I think they're really, really strong with a back line of Jonathan Tah, Edmund Tapsoba, Piero Hincapi. They've got so many really young and really solid defensive pieces, and I think they'll be shocking a lot of people, and they have so far.
Yeah, my team, going back to the Premier League, is Brighton. So they're playing really well right now. Today they just defeated Manchester United to end like the 20-game unbeaten streak for them at Old Trafford. I really like them. They're just kind of like a scrappy team, a bit smaller market, obviously.
They'll find a way to get some Paraguayan, Bolivian, 100 get signed for 100 million to Chelsea.
Yeah, the loss of Moises Caicedo was definitely big.
And
McAllister, those were two big losses, but they're doing fine. They still have Karim Mitoma.
And I like the replacements they were bringing in. I feel like Jean Pedro is very good. Mahmoud Dahoud. I think I butchered that name, unfortunately. But yeah, some really good players, and they still have Cisco, who, if you remember, was hitting daggers from like 200 yards out at the end of last season for them. So I agree. I think Brighton will definitely be challenging for European positioning again.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really high on them, and I wasn't high on them to start because of their losses. But I really like them to somehow get in their Conference League or Europa League, maybe.
Yeah. Now moving across the pond, which sometimes is football moves back across the pond because money. We're going to be talking about the NFL. It's back, everyone. The NFL is back, and it's better than ever. I don't know if that's true.
I think it is, honestly.
Yeah. It's back, and week 1 just wrapped up recently this Monday, and some very interesting games so far. I think maybe the most shocking of them all was probably the very first game of the season, where the defending Super Bowl champion Chiefs lost to a non-playoff team. What?
Well, to be fair,
that's a good Lions squad.
That's a very, very talented Lions team that's only getting better. I see them making the playoffs for sure this season. Jared Goff is really done really well there. I love their coaching. Dan Campbell is a great coach. Amon-Ra St. Brown is an elite wide receiver. I really like what's going on there in Detroit. And to be fair, that pick six that Patrick Mahomes threw wasn't his fault.
And receiving wise, those Chiefs receivers were getting a pretty solid amount of separation, especially for the non-name value. They just couldn't reel it in.
Yeah, not having Travis Kelce definitely hurts. We'll see how they bounce back this week against Jacksonville. A good Jacksonville team too.
Once again, yeah.
The Chiefs could very, very easily go to 0-2 on the season, which is crazy.
Yeah, definitely. But we've seen teams like that, the Patriots.
Oh yeah, we do it all the time.
Get off to really slow starts and then turn it around, especially.
We do it all the time.
Remember Matt Patricia's first game against the Patriots after he left gave the Lions a lot of hope.
Oh yeah, we scored 10 points and then we won the Super Bowl that season. That Super Bowl right there, actually. Move your head, Charlie. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, look at that.
You went to that, correct?
Yeah, I did go to that one. It was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a good one, but it was a good one because we won.
Yeah, I thought the game was pretty good, and I like Travis Scott. Anyways, now that we're not off topic, I'd have to agree. I also would say another shocking were probably the two New York teams, just the range of results and emotions.
Wow, yeah.
Over the course of Sunday night and Monday night.
Aaron Rodgers goes down 75 seconds into his Jets career.
4 offensive plays. He didn't even get a yard.
It's the turf, man. It's that turf.
Like they got to change.
They got to ditch it.
There's a reason Messi does not play on turf.
Yeah, he didn't play tonight. He didn't play tonight in Atlanta. They just, if he gets hurt, first of all, I know this is going back to soccer, but if Messi gets hurt on that turf, his career could be over. You never know. But anyways, speaking of career being over, Aaron Rodgers' career could be over though. Very likely. I
would not be surprised. And now they have to be shopping around because although Zach Wilson was able to lead them to a W, it was nasty one at that.
Yeah, they're lucky Josh Allen just throws arm puns.
Yeah, they were lucky that Jordan Whitehead decided to finally sign the adoption papers on
Darrelle Revis, prime Darrelle
Seriously,
Revis at that point.
Prime Darrelle Revis. Although a couple of those, like the chuck way down the field towards the goal line.
Yeah,
I mean, what are you thinking? I think he just needs to be able to tune the aggressiveness.
I want to see what do you think? Because Josh Allen has all the talent in the world, and we've seen him be great in his NFL career, but we have seen him make some stupid decisions, some really bad decisions. He's got all the weapons. He's got the physical stature. He's got the ability. He just doesn't make good decisions, and it's really frustrating. I know I'm a Patriots fan, but with a guy with that much talent, like I so wish that like he was on my team. But and then you look at him, he's throwing 2 and 3 interceptions a game, and he's just like
Giving
making his
up,
team
yeah,
lose.
it's really disappointing. Moving to the other New York team, or of course, I mean, we're actually talking about two New Jersey teams and one New York team. My bad. Moving to the other New Jersey team who played in the same stadium the night before, which I find kind of interesting.
I did find that interesting.
The New York Giants had probably like one of the worst starts to a season ever. 40-0.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Daniel Jones got pieced behind that O line. Like that was bad. That was really bad.
The only okay defensive or the only okay lineman there is Andrew Thomas, and he can't defend.
It's not. Yeah. They'll hopefully be okay. They play the Cardinals this week. That's a gimme, right? Nah, actually, they played the Commies pretty tough.
That's a funny name.
The
like
Commanders, the Commies.
Yeah.
Actually, the opposite of Commander, honestly, and that's tragic, Charlie.
Yeah, I'm watching the Florida game while doing this, and fade touchdown to the corner.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
I
Lock in.
think I've turned into a pacifist sports-wise at this point.
That's okay.
I've been broken. Moving on. Actually, we're gonna keep on this train because I had the Cowboys defensive fantasy. I was like, oh, they should do pretty okay, right?
They got like 35 points.
I do sleeper 54 points from
sleeper gave you 54.
54. What? Yeah, exactly. A wild start and and the main slate of games for week 2 is occurring just tomorrow.
It's gonna be. I'm excited, and then watch out.
A player to highlight for me at least, I think, is Jordan Love. He had not completions wise, not great, but he made the right reads. He threw some really good balls as well, and three touchdowns. Really impressive game for a dude who's been waiting in the shadows and not highly touted draft pick.
Definitely,
when he was drafted, but a really good start to his career.
Still a first rounder though, right? Yeah, he was like 29th overall.
Utah State. I don't know what their name is. I know the Utes and I know
Utah State. Utah State. They're like the Aggies or something.
Yes, that's right.
Utah State Aggies. A player I want to highlight really quickly. You probably know what I'm gonna say. I just want to say, don't give me the look.
I'll just give it to the camera.
Just
Mac. You want to say Mac Jones, people?
Mac Jones looked decent. I'll tell you that. I'll stop there. It's not a deal.
Every week. Every episode.
Mac Jones looked pretty good. All right, like
every
first game with a real offensive coordinator, and now in over a year, he looked pretty good. All right, so we'll move on. Speaking of college football,
we're gonna talk about our teams to win each of the Power 5 conferences.
It's not going to be Power 5 after like 2 years.
The Pac-2 is going to be so disgusting. I'm so excited for Oregon State to raise that 2024 Pac-2 banner because they beat Washington State one time. Anyways, do you want to start it off with probably the best conference in the world?
The SEC.
It's not going to be Bama.
It's not going to be Bama. It's not going to be Vanderbilt, unfortunately.
Really?
It's not going to be Florida.
I think I'd agree with that.
It's not going to be Texas A&M. It's not going to be Auburn. It's not going to be Ole Miss. It's not going to be Mississippi State.
It's not going to be South.
It's not going to be South Carolina.
It's
going to be your Georgia I mean, not a Bulldogs fan, but Georgia Bulldogs.
It's going to be Mizzou.
Dude, they just beat Kansas State today on a 61-yard field goal.
Wild, yeah.
W Mizzou, like good for you.
Good for y'all. I like Brady Cook a lot.
Best thing that's ever happened in Columbia, Missouri.
Sure, I don't know what he's saying there, but
no, like the campus is in Columbia, Missouri. See, like probably the best thing that's happened. It's the best thing that's happened in Missouri since 2019. Oh yeah.
I'll bring it up.
All right, you want to go up the Atlantic coast a little bit?
Yeah, we're gonna move into the ACC. Although with our predictions, I think, or at least me, I'm moving down to Florida. FSU, FSU. It was a really bad game against Boston College today. I mean,
Jordan Travis got hurt in the second quarter, which is massive.
Yeah. So pending that injury, I'll pick them. If not, I mean, who knows? I mean, it's really wide open. A lot of really solid teams with Duke, Miami, what's it called? Virginia's pretty okay. Virginia Tech's okay, but I think the main teams are going to be Duke, Miami, Clemson, North Carolina, and FSU.
For me, I mean, if Jordan Travis is hurt for a while, it's over. Like, not over, but it's going to be really tough. That's still a really good FSU team, but we saw what happened today against Boston College.
Who's the worst Power 5 team in the country, I'd say. Like,
Yeah, I agree because I forgot their ACC as well. Boston College, Matty Ice, baby.
Luke Kuechly.
Um, so if I'm not gonna say FSU, it's really between North Carolina and Clemson. Clemson's looked a little suspect, and I mean Drake May's been turning the ball over a little bit more for UNC.
And then it's once another scary showing against Appalachian State once again.
And then I don't know what happened today against Minnesota. I'm not even gonna lie.
Oh, they won by a pretty good margin.
Okay, I'm gonna go UNC because I'm really high on Drake May.
I don't know. I just don't feel like the team. I mean, the team around him is pretty solid, but we saw what happened last year when they brought in Cade Klubnik during the ACC championship, and then they just steamrolled them. And he's now without his number 1 receiver, Josh Downs.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stick with FSU. If injuries suffice, I think it's probably between Duke and Clemson.
Yeah. Well, if you want to go big, you go big or go home.
Yeah.
Go big. You go over to the Big 12.
Our trip. We're going to continue. We're going to move our trip west.
Southwest.
West. To the Big 12, a conference in shambles because BYU and UCF are going to be joining.
And Texas and Oklahoma are leaving.
But they are getting Colorado. So who's your prediction to get out of this conference this year? I think
Texas.
Yeah, but
everything's bigger in Texas.
Don't forget about Oklahoma.
Oklahoma looking really good,
They
but
are playing really good offensively, and Brent Venables is an offensive coach. So please be scared.
Everything's bigger in Texas, man. Texas.
Knowing Texas are going to drop to 9-3 by the end of the season with
that's
that loss.
Very possible. But right now, Texas.
Sure, Reed. I'm going to say Oklahoma though. I really like Dylan Gabriel. I think he's been really good. And we'll just have to see how the conference shapes out. There are a lot of really interesting teams, and I think moving down the line with the loss of Texas, I think it's going to become even more competitive.
Yeah, definitely. But
moving to the other big conference. We're gonna move
bigger memes. Swag like Ohio.
Dude, it's 2023. You can't be saying that.
Dude, it was popular this year.
No. It's no.
Anyways, the Ohio State University is in shambles.
Yeah, Colin McCord has been and off. I don't know. They just don't feel like. I think
Notre Dame's gonna win the Big Ten.
That's a funny joke. It's actually gonna be Rutgers.
Tevin and Jason McCourty.
Yeah. I think both of us probably. Actually, I'm gonna switch up. I'm gonna say Penn State.
Interesting. I like that. I noticed that it was your sneaky top 4 pick.
Oh, thanks for revealing that early. This is going downhill fast.
Going downhill like the Pac-12.
Give us your prediction.
Pac-12. I don't know.
Big Ten prediction.
No, Big Ten prediction. The University of Michigan.
Yeah. JJ McCarthy's pretty okay. I like Blake Corum a lot. That defense is pretty okay.
Blake Corum is very good.
So, yeah, I just think Drew Aller is the difference. So we'll see. We'll see how that conference shapes up. Moving on to.
No, keep going.
Moving west.
Moving west.
Lewis and Clark. We're moving to the Pac-12, which will soon not exist, but that's okay.
Colorado Buffalo. No, I'm kidding. USC Trojans.
Yeah, that offense is disgusting.
And their defense is terrible, but that offense is so disgusting that I don't know if it'll matter. I don't know if they'll make playoff, but I don't think it'll matter.
Yeah, well,
in conference championship.
But be afraid because that conference is legit.
And I would actually say Utah if Cam Rising didn't get hurt.
They're playing well, and he should be able to get back.
If Cam Rising wasn't hurt, I believe that the Utah
I think I'd still go with the USC though. Watch out for Washington and Oregon.
I am a huge Michael Penix guy.
I love Michael Penix.
Hey, where was he before Washington?
Indiana.
That's
he was part of that Outback squad team in 2020. That went there. Yeah.
Okay. The more you know.
It's really packed. That Pac-12. I love the Pac-12 so much. I think almost top to bottom, they're really good.
UCLA.
Usually is, I mean, of course, losing Dorian Thompson-Robinson really stinks, but I mean, that's still a pretty okay team. Yeah. Oregon State, Utah, Colorado, no. Mountain West. They were in the Mountain West, so that's why I thought of it.
No, I'm not going to say anything.
Okay.
I'm not like you. I'm like, it's fine.
Okay, thank you, Reed. Okay, so once again, the Pac-12 is going to be really good, but sticking with college football. What team do you think has a shot that's looking outside the top 4, but is looking to get in, and you think will get in?
Personally, I think I really like the Tennessee Volunteers. I know we'll see what happens with this game against Florida. It's kind of a trap game, honestly.
Definitely.
Charlie's pulling it up on his phone.
Your
I
Wi-Fi stinks.
Dude, we're in the basement in a room with no windows.
Oh, it's the Mike Fulton-Evich effect.
I really like Joe Milton.
Oh,
he's,
yeah.
He's got a cannon. I love what he's got. What happened here? Oh, Trevor Etienne! He scored.
Yes.
Wait.
Oh, they blocked it. You've got to be kidding me.
Blocked extra point.
They blocked.
Can't
I
have,
just want
can't
nice,
have nice
I
things.
want nice things.
Can't have nice things down in the
Can't
swamp.
have nice things.
Anyways, Tennessee, I really like them. I probably just jinxed them now, but I would have said Utah, but Cam Rising's hurt. Tennessee.
But Nate, as a fan who watched the Florida Utah game, Nate Johnson is nasty.
What?
So,
keep talking. That was a weird kickoff formation. Anyways, lock in.
Yeah, Nate Johnson is really disgusting. So, I mean, Utah still definitely has a shot. I think. I mean, they have a tough schedule.
What's your
they have a tough schedule. So we'll have to see how it goes for them. I'm gonna, of course, reveal mine earlier.
I ruined it.
But I'm gonna go Penn State, a team that's consistently a top 20-ish defense, is top 15. Really good defensively. I think Drew Aller. I mean, you could make a case last year that he should have been starting over Sean Clifford, and Sean Clifford's maybe, I think, a little bit too mistake prone to really make a shot.
He's been there for so long. I feel he's been there for so long.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm surprised because maybe he had a year in 20.
name a famous Penn State quarterback.
Allen Robinson. I'm not saying the name who you want me to say.
Trace McSorley throwing on
Who
a
got cut by your
dime.
team.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people get cut by my team, to be fair.
Yeah, and then brought back practice squad.
No, that was Zappy. We didn't bring McSorley back.
I know. Penn State is my team that I think could make a shot at the top 4 of this college football.
You got us. Florida International. Okay, anyways, sorry.
Moving around a little bit, of course, we talked about Utah. I'll bring that up in a little bit. But moving up north to Canada. We've got Reed has his team to look out for in the NA. I was going to raise it.
The pickles. The pickles.
It's going to raise it up.
The NHL, the National Hockey League. Team that I personally really like in the Hockey League of National, 2 nations. The Ottawa Senators, I know I've been high on them on this podcast before. A couple key additions this year. Vladimir Tarasenko is probably the biggest one. He's a great leader, playing for my St. Louis Blues for a good bit of his career. They were really close to making the playoffs last year, and they only got better during this offseason. I really love Brady Tkachuk. I just love what's going on over there in Ottawa, and they're bound to make the playoffs. That voice crack was bad.
Yeah, so I'm gonna moving over to the NBA, a team that I really liked how they did draft wise, and I've been high on them ever since like this summer. It's the Utah Jazz. I really like Keontae George. I really like Taylor Hendricks. I think Taylor Hendricks is a really, really interesting prospect, and I think he could definitely pan out, and I like what he's doing so far. The Jazz just missed out on a play-in spot, and I think they probably will make a play-in spot this year, maybe even more. We've seen a team like the Kings bounce from non-playoff contention up to the 3 seed.
I met their coach.
Mike Brown.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, I met him in Sacramento. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, he's really cool. Big guy.
The more you know.
The more you know.
And I mean, a lot of teams that were near the top in the Western Conference, like the Clippers and the Clippers, I just don't feel like could be really competitive in this upcoming season. So I think they could definitely make a charge along. I mean, the Warriors as well. I hated their offseason. So I definitely think the Utah Jazz will probably make a charge for a play-in spot and maybe even more. So we'll just have to see. Moving on to my favorite segment, and I think yours too. It's our team to highlight. And Reed's is definitely not biased at all. But this is actually not biased because what we're going to be doing is because we love Justin Herbert.
We pay homage to our boy Justin. We love you.
We love you, Justin Herbert.
Actually, wearing the colors too.
And we love you, Bo Nix.
Bo Nix.
Oregon.
I see. Yeah, I'm wearing the colors too.
So Reed, why don't you start us off with your team to highlight?
So my team to highlight, you'll see a commonality here. I don't know if that's the word. I hope it is. The 2007 San Diego Chargers.
Superchargers.
Superchargers.
Thank you, Gus Johnson.
Nice. All right. So the Chargers, 11-5 record, 5th in the NFL in points per game. Some of their key players, a young Darren Sproles. Legend Darren Sproles.
Unfortunately, his alma mater KSU didn't have a great day today, though.
He went to wait, what happened? What happened to the KSU? Oh yeah, they lost to Missouri. I was thinking of the wrong KSU. Sorry, where we live, KSU means something else. LaDainian Tomlinson was probably by far their best player. 1,474 yards, 15 all-purpose touchdowns. Phillip Rivers had a decent season. 3,152 yards, 21 touchdowns. They lost in that undefeated New England Patriots team in the AFC Championship. You can't get mad at me, dude.
Jarhead.
We lost the Super Bowl, okay? You can't get mad at me. This is what
you'll notice a trend when you look at all the teams that read highlights. They have something to do with the team he likes, but that's okay because that just allows him to indulge more into the teams he loves.
We lost that year, Charlie. I don't know why you're mad. Stay mad. Stay mad.
Phillip Rivers was flinging around touchdowns like he was children.
He can field an offense now. He also played that game, fun fact, on a torn ACL. Y'all probably knew that, but that's crazy. Playing a game on a torn ACL. That's some Jack Youngblood level stuff.
Yeah, go Gators.
Go Los Angeles Rams.
I don't know what we're doing with retirement wise, because is Jack Youngblood's number retired? I don't know, because why is Graham Mertz wearing number 15?
Yeah, I don't know. But who's your special team?
Well, also, don't forget Sean Marion. He was also a really interesting player of that era. If you guys haven't seen him, look up Sean Marion hit stick. That's all I gotta look up.
Boom!
Sean Marion be popping bottles and be popping wide receivers.
Boom!
We're gonna move back
Boom!
a couple of years to
more than a couple
to the late 80s, or sorry, the early 80s and the late 70s with those Chargers squads. I think the one word I have to say is Air Raid, Air Coryell. Air Raid. That's actually like 4 words, but who cares? One of probably the most revolutionary offense we have ever seen in the history.
Yeah, revolutionized the game of football to what we are now, a pass-heavy league.
Yeah, I mean, it was all thanks to Don Coryell, Joe Gibbs, and Dan Fouts. Dan Fouts, probably the most successful working QB professionally.
Soon going to be Justin Herbert.
Yeah, he's definitely being challenged. Marcus Mariota also up there too.
Yeah,
and Joey Harrington.
That's like saying TJ Yates was the best UNC quarterback.
And Pope.
And he was the best. Our high school, our alma mater. So
yeah.
TJ Yates, if you're out there, we want you on. We want you on the podcast.
Please. I love you so much, TJ Yates, and the fact that you hit a curl route in the third quarter against the Bengals to win the one and only playoff game that season for the Texans, and you probably should have gone to the AFC Championship game if it wasn't for Jacoby Jones. Anyways, Dan Fouts, really interesting career. He totaled over 43,000 passing yards in his career, which is absurd for that era. But he totaled around 450 touchdowns, but also 430 interceptions. Yeah. So I think it's also another.
That's how you pass the ball though in a league that's not like, everybody's new to it, sort of, and you're just trying it out, and you can throw a lot of receptions, but it's all right because
for also
NFL's a better place now.
Yeah, and also a forgotten part of those teams. I honestly didn't even know this until I started doing a little bit more research. Joe Gibbs, if you didn't know, he was the Washington coach when they won a Super Bowl or two, and he was, just a legend in the city of Washington.
The city of Washington.
The Washington of D.C.
The district? You mean the district?
The district of Washington, D.C.
The district of Washington.
Okay. The district
of Columbia.
The district of Washington, D.C. Okay. Moving on, I think if you watch a little bit of NFL films content, you probably know this name, Wes Chandler. Maybe if you're a Florida fan, you'll know his name. He was a Florida Gator, played from 1978 to 1988. And he was definitely a 1982 MVP snub, lost to a kicker. But in just 8 games, but in a strike-shortened 8-game season, he totaled 1,032 yards, 9 touchdowns, averaging 129 yards a game. This was over the course of 8 games in 1982. Letting everyone know that. That
is crazy. I don't know what the pace is on that, but that's wild.
Yeah, definitely one of the best receivers of his era. Totaled 4 Pro Bowls. A really great talent.
Very, very good.
And now moving on to the more revolutionary side.
This is gonna take forever. It's all right.
Moving on to the more revolutionary side. I'll keep this fast. Clarence Williams, number 40, was their main starting back over the 1979 to 1982-ish era. They're pretty much like the prototype of the receiving back. He totaled more receiving yards than he did rushing yards over the course of 1980 and 1981.
Wow.
So
Tells you how pass heavy this offense was.
yeah, and then Kellen Winslow, the I mean, you could make a case that it was Mike Ditka. I'd say Kellen Winslow pretty much put the tight end as a receiver on the map. I mean,
for sure,
just an incredible career. His son had some troubles off the field, but when he was on the field, you definitely saw the flashes of old Kellen Winslow and on those great games that they had.
Literally old Kellen Winslow.
Yeah.
Funny guy. Funny guy over here, guys. That's why he's the host, not me.
But Kellen Winslow, I mean, unbelievable. You can make a case that he's the greatest tight end of all time just based on what he was able to accomplish. A fun statistic I'd like to talk about: the 1981 season, they had 689 passes and 481 rushes. So I think that's just really interesting, especially for the era. And then shout out to Gary Johnson, the one defensive player I'd like to highlight. He was their defensive tackle, and he was an All-Pro in 1981. Unfortunately, I talked a lot about that 1981 season, and it kind of just didn't end how they wanted. If you know a little bit about the NFL, you'll know about the coldest game based on wind chill. And that took place between the San Diego Chargers and Cincinnati Bengals in 1981 for the AFC Conference Championship game. Either way, they probably both get slapped by the 49ers, but definitely just a disappointment. Chargers, moving from San Diego up to Cincinnati, where it's like minus 59.
Was that the Super Bowl where Joe Montana completed the drive? Because there were two of those during that decade, with the Niners and the Bengals.
I mean, I think he did it twice, right?
Maybe he did do it twice. I think you're right.
I think, he did it twice.
Yeah, I think that's cool though.
I think the first one,
it was like 96 yards or something.
Yeah, and then the second one, he completed a pass over the middle to Jonathan Taylor? No, John Taylor.
What?
John Taylor. That's the name.
Wisconsin legend.
John Taylor. So those are that's my team to highlight. So once again, we love our Chargers, but we don't like Dean Spanos.
Yeah, no. Darn you, Dean Spanos. Also, darn you, Stan Kroenke too.
We don't like you, Stan.
We don't like LA owners.
The trio of bad owners and Dean Spanos and Stan Kroenke and then Dan Snyder, who's gone. You two are next. Anyways, moving on.
Your deathbed is bleeding.
Moving on, because of course
Stan Kroenke took the freaking Rams out of St. Louis.
Because hopefully soon those guys will be 6 feet under. We're gonna go low as well to the low light of the week. Starts off.
We talked about it earlier. NFL Week 1 recap. The New York Giants. Everything went wrong for them. It all started on that first field goal kick, and it got returned to the house.
Yeah.
And then it just didn't get any better. The Giants. Good luck this year. You paid Danny Dimes that much,
and then didn't give any money to Saquon. And look what's happening. You give all your money to the wrong positions, and that's
yep. Don't give too much money to the wrong positions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then my low light of the week is going to be the New York Jets. I'm sorry, kid, is what Aaron Rodgers said to Garrett Wilson after he.
And Sauce Gardner, I think.
Yeah. Oof.
Probably everybody.
When I saw that injury, I'm like, oh, he should be okay. And then I was like, oh, he went home on a cart. And then I saw a different angle, and I saw his actual Achilles rupture, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's everywhere now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. Maybe Jacoby Brissett can lead that team to glory.
Dude, if he does, I wouldn't even be mad. I love Jacoby Brissett.
He should have led the Colts to a playoff spot in 2019.
Not the Colts. Anthony Richardson looked.
Brian Hoyer almost got him there too. So that's my low light of the week. Highlight of the week. Do you want to? Actually,
you start this one.
Yeah. So I've now recently been getting into F1 a little bit.
What's F1? Can you explain to the viewers?
Okay, so Formula One.
Okay, don't go too far in depth.
Wheel racing, and it's if you're American, you probably know NASCAR. It's a little bit different. Instead of only taking a left-hand turns around an oval for 5 hours, they go left and right across the course. Sometimes they're in the streets. Sometimes they're in the fields. Sometimes they're in the rain in Japan. Every single time they're in Suzuka, it's raining. I don't know why. But they always are. Anyways. The Singapore Grand Prix, one of the few street courses of the season, through qualifying took place today, and it was a wild finish because the two fastest cars on the grid there were two Red Bulls, Max Verstappen. Yeah, super max. Okay, and Sergio Perez, and both didn't make it to Q3. Reed, I know you don't know what that means. Imagine the New England Patriots lost to the New York Jets, in 2007 in like week 15. Imagine that happened. That's pretty much what went down. Because, if you don't know, Q3, Q1, Q2, Q1, 5 cars out of 20 are like they can't race anymore. They're stuck between 16 and 20. Then there's Q2. That eliminates 15 through 11. And then there's Q3, which puts the final 10 slots in order. Liam Lawson, who has 2 races under his belt, he's from New Zealand, and he went through the horror zone that was Zandvoort this year, beat out Max Verstappen in the worst car on the grid, and in AlphaTauri, which if you didn't know, AlphaTauri is like the subsidiary to Red Bull. Max Verstappen could win the Constructors' Championship this season by himself, and he got knocked out in Q2 by a Liam Lawson kid from New Zealand. Everyone loves Liam Lawson now. That was the greatest moment of my life. Please, 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 don't let Max Verstappen get a podium. Your turn.
Well, that was a lot. I don't know what just happened. Did I just zone out? It's all white noise at this point. The Atlanta Braves clinched the National League East this week. Obviously, we saw that all coming. And today, Matt Olson just hit his 52nd home run, breaking the Braves single season record, defeating Andrew Jones' record.
Who's up there? We're gonna get his bobblehead.
Just got his number retired last Saturday, a week ago today. I was at the game.
It was
got the bobblehead.
Yeah, and hopefully his son breaks some records as well when he.
Drew Jones, I love Drew Jones.
Yeah, I'm really excited for him to come up.
Like,
so
25.
An exciting week for the Braves. Hopefully, we're able to clinch some more important.
I gotta show the rest of the stuff.
Okay. Hopefully,
Cole Hamels, Phillies Braves legend.
Yeah, 2/3.
Jordan Binnington, St. Louis Blues.
2 and 2.
Right.
So
Henry Aaron.
We're destroying the setup pretty much. Okay.
Yeah, I know we are. Babe Ruth.
Should I start doing this too?
Yeah, you should.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? This is actually kind of smart. Okay. So
St. Louis Blues. Raleigh Tower from the Stanley Cup Final when I went back in 2000.
The Freeze.
Little Stanley Cup Final magazine.
Johnny Venters, San Diego Santa.
Johnny Venters.
We love you, Johnny Venters.
A little light for the aesthetic purposes.
Travis Darnell.
Travie D.
Patriots 2018 Super Bowl when they destroyed a play action offense.
Yep. 100% this one last. This is
What is this though?
Oh yeah.
Actually, I'll go. Okay. Johnny Venters Shrine. We've got Johnny Venters.
Johnny Venters?
Mike Fulton Evans Shrine.
Jeez.
Sorry.
Jeez.
Mike Fulton Evans Shrine.
Have you noticed a height difference for like the first time ever on the podcast?
I'm actually.
Hey. This right here is my most prized possession. David Andrews, New England Patriots center, personalized signed autograph.
Wow.
Thank you to my 3rd grade teacher for getting me this.
And now we throw everything, including this.
Mr. Andrews, I love you. I hope to be able to talk to you.
Do we have anything to throw?
Do we have anything to throw?
No, we don't.
Darn right we do. What?
This has been episode 7 of the NextGen Playbook podcast. Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye.